But when they started, the very first song they played for Butchvig for Nevermind, it was Butchvig, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Was Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until Dave Grohl went, he just went, oh, that's a good song. That's a great drummer. That's a riff that everyone plays.
Well,
but it was played so differently with a great drummer. Like that riff, everyone knows a riff. You know, it's not even a riff.
It's a piss take of More Than a Feeling. Did you know that?
I'm sure. Is it?
Yeah, you
It's in
tweak
a
a couple of
million
those
songs.
chords and you got Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Right. Well, exactly. And every sort of indie band has that riff in a song, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like going on what you're saying, when something sort of works great and a dude from the studio goes, that's something, you know. Whoa, something about that, you know.
Yeah.
It's undeniable, that riff. I'm
Yeah.
glad you told me that, because I would have thought it would have been backwards. You had a great riff, well, like it is normally. Got a great riff, dudes. Yeah, that's great.
Well,
let's make a song.
I mean, look, there's no recipe for a perfect song, but I find it's usually easier if you've got some lyrics and melody to begin with, because you tend to gravitate to the guitar riff if you don't and rely on that, which is kind of what I did in reverse. I relied on the vocal melody that was there already and pinched it and made the riff.
Don't tell Skinny.
Oh, yeah, he won't listen to this.
Sorry.
He knows the story anyway.
All right, man, let's crack another beer.
Mm.
So, fast forward, millions of dollars, lots of success.
2 beers later. Well, the big thing in More Wine was we thought they were going to ask us to change the lyric, and no one ever did. The fat bleeping cheap mole.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah. Oh, they loved it. They thought, I don't know what they liked about it.
yeah, well, you know what? On the way here, it's like I'd never heard that bit before. It was on YouTube, and I was like, and I actually went, wow, I don't remember that. Maybe it was bleeped in the ones I'd heard before. And MTV,
There's some amusing
that
ones
sort of
out
stuff,
there.
you know, like.
There's one that goes fat cheap. Oh, you know, they've really made a meal.
Excellent.
But like a lot of things in art, they draw the attention to something that's just so ridiculous and has nothing to do with the song that suddenly people want to hear it. Oh,
Yeah.
you know, there's something about it that people want to hear.
Yeah.
Because it's wrong. You know, I remember Skyhooks, Why Don't You All Get Blipped? When that came out, and everyone just wanted to listen to the song loud.
Yeah, or the Radiators.
To just stick it to their parents. Oh, look, I'm in my room and I'm listening to this song. Ah.
Yeah, I remember being at my mate's.
How edgy, you know?
Oh yeah, I remember going to my mate who had Darren Gilder, his oldest sister Leah. So she's older, and we were only 10 or something. The older sister was playing in the same weekend. We heard Violent Femmes. Those songs with all the F words in it, like I take one. No. Anyway, that and the Radiators, Give Me Head.
Yep.
It was like the whole world was changed.
Yeah.
For all of us, and I had to listen to it again. Like, wow.
Yeah, and you get that idea that if I play it loud enough, everyone's going to go, woo.
Yeah. It's weird now, though. It's weird. Have you seen the Anaconda film clip? Like, with.
I try not to.
I know, but you know what I mean. When that was weird, just to have one swear word in a song, but now it's just so weird. Like some of these rap songs, it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the bizarrest song you possibly could, and there'll be another one tomorrow that's going to be
to top it.
Yeah, like or under it.
Yeah.
Bottom it out even further, you know. The unimaginable is a hit, you know.
So, all right. Now I want to weed you out more. What about, because you would actually know, just like all of us, that the mid-90s right, was the last of great rock and roll. It was when
the death throes.
it was definitely the death throes, but there was still roadies getting paid, big PAs, big trucks delivering stuff. Like there was actually an industry of rock and roll that you still had people. I've seen it before. Brent Eccles with a big house, dudes you actually knew who made money from rock and roll, and they were just in the neighborhood somewhere, and it's definitely gone now completely.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I was actually. It's funny you mentioned him because I was thinking about you today. That one of the first times I met you guys is he introduced me to, and we went and watched you guys play, and he was standing next to me going, "Oh, what do you think?" And it's almost like he was trying to tweak the band from afar, and I was actually very sort of flattered and confused because I didn't understand why he wanted my opinion. And I kind of got what he was getting at. I think he wanted to remove, is it Chris?
Yeah.
I think he wanted to extrapolate the guitar from him because it kind of contorted him. He was talking to me about the way he looked on stage. He's going, how can I? And I felt like saying, well, it's none of your bloody business because they're already a band. You don't mess with, it's like these guys you see on Idol and they come out with a guitar and then 5 minutes later they've been fixed.
Yeah.
It's like a dog going to get fixed. Like, remove that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it shows how weird rock and roll is, though. Like, you can, and then the next minute,
Video killed the radio star.
Yeah. But then out comes
happened.
a band like, apparently, the band Jet. Yeah. They had a different bass player, and this could be all crap, but there's a lot of word about the old bass player was a bit of a dag. He wasn't as cool as the current bass player, and he was a last minute.
He had a PA in a van, didn't he?
Did he? Yeah, probably. Well, apparently, when it all came down to record company, bang, 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 it was another decision like that. Mate, if we only get rid of this guy and put this guy in, bang.
Yeah.
We can make a lot of money. And so, yeah, well, some people see it differently.
Well, even the Beatles had their drummer replaced, so I can't even imagine what it must be like to be that guy.
Yeah.
Going, I was in the Beatles.
I don't know if this is true, but they reckon he teaches career guidance.
Wow.
That's true.
What a resume to have. Used to play before Ringo. They had a drummer before Ringo?
Now, what you need to be doing, chap, you should be doing this with your life.
Yeah, I was just thinking, wouldn't it be worse to have Ringo on career advice? First, take this bottle of scotch. Actually, I shouldn't say that about Ringo. Bless his heart.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of that right now. What are you learning a bit of?
Yeah, I'm getting me Lennon on. It's interesting because you think you know some of their stuff well, and then you realise that you don't, and then there's stuff that you don't know that becomes sort of second nature to you to play. They're such a broad band. This is the thing, and I think that a lot of their influence is not only in my playing already, but it's in my writing. So if I'm listening to a song and I go, oh, they're going to change the key there, you kind of intuitively know where they're going to go a lot of the time. Maybe it's just familiarity with the songs, you're hearing them sort of when you're not listening to them. You can hear them on the radio, you can hear the other people. Listen, their influence
obviously knew how to make even at that early time in history, they knew how to make hooks. We're in a verse now that's we need to make it go.
Yeah,
must be like a chesty feeling of like what's not working in this song.
Well, I'll let the cat out of the bag that me and John Mouse Hayho are doing a John Lennon sort of tribute show, and the thing that becomes very apparent is when you start looking at his stuff as opposed to Paul McCartney's stuff, is John Lennon's songs are more the wheel's going to come off the axle and he doesn't care. He's going to keep going anyway. And I think he became quite expert at that where there was an odd chord, he would apply a lot of pressure and like the song's getting abducted by another song. And that's what I think what makes it such endearing music and why it lasts is that there's something sort of unexpected, even when you've heard it a dozen times. Yeah. There's something that you pick up, something new nearly every time.
Yeah, the sort of slightly bitter, angry.
Yeah.
Like that quirky.
Yeah, maybe he's the granddaddy of punk. I don't know. I think there was definitely something punk about him, though.
Yeah, for sure.
He knew how to, as we were saying a minute ago, he knew how to construct these hooks. And he got kind of bored with it, or it was just where he used to not let his imagination run away with itself. He began to let that happen more. Drugs.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
Drugs, kids.
Wouldn't it be hard, though, with the whole world watching you? Different times, though, so it wouldn't have felt like the whole world. Definitely lots of screaming girls. New record coming out. What do we do now? Like, I don't know. Just they constantly keep writing this stuff. Do you know how to play a piano? You know how they wrote all their stuff on piano first?
I used to take piano lessons for about a year when I was 5. Right. I told my mum I didn't like the piano teacher. Got into all sorts of trouble and quit.
Well, then, when we jammed the other week for a laugh, I went, okay, yeah, definitely, Jules. Why do you know how to sing so well? You definitely know your notes. This is a real musician character here.
I used to sing in a choir.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, not a school choir. It was the Hobart Boys Choir, completely private enterprise, and
I can see that on a float.
It actually taught me a lot because
You missed it.
When
you going? Sorry, okay.
When things would go wrong,
blue sort of blazers or something.
When things would be going wrong at rehearsal, and let's face it, nothing sounds worse than the human voice singing badly. Yeah. So if you clone that by 30 or 40 young guys, it's really quite grating. So when that would happen, instead of the choir master pulling out a submachine gun and killing us, which I'm sure he wanted to do occasionally, he'd get us to all lie down.
See?
All lie down, and he would calm us all down. He'd kind of hypnotise us. He'd say, what would he say? He'd say, imagine the bones in your hand. He said, when you just move your fingers slightly. He said, you can feel that there's bones in it. Now imagine that they're all coming apart and flying across the galaxy to Alpha Centauri, blah, 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 and back. And then this would go on for about 5 minutes, and then we'd all get up. And kids being kids, we'd go, there's a whole bunch of crap, And it actually, it brought the sound together a bit better. And I remember that to this day when I'm feeling a bit like I want to throw up before a gig, which is a lot. I've actually learned not to eat up to 4 hours beforehand.
Really?
Just drink water. Just drink water. You're way better off. Eat later. And you have a better appetite. Yeah, I remember those things. I think about my arms flying off, and it's a technique. It's like counting backwards from 10 or something,
Or just to slow your mind down. It was a technique to
because
separate so you think singularly, perhaps.
Well, you know it's coming, and you know what you're supposed to do. But you don't actually remember how you have this second guessing where you're thinking about how you do it, and you go, no, don't do that. You've never done that before. Don't start now. And it kind of works like that. The more asleep you are before you go on, probably the better. I see people blowing it all the time through their angst, their pre-gig angst, getting to the gig too early. Ooh, bad idea.
Yeah, there's a lot of studies I've looked into lately. Think of the best thing you've ever done at the best time. Everyone says the same thing. It was like I wasn't even thinking about it. Like,
yeah,
there's times in my life I'm thinking about this one time I passed a footy, you know, and it was like the perfect lineup.